Good morning, everybody. This is Robin Ayub from the Localization Fireside Chat, and welcome to another episode for our lovely channel that everybody seems to like, everybody seems to be listening to. The Localization Fireside Chat is not that old. We started about a year and a half ago, and we became a very quickly, I think, based on the comments and the feedback that I'm hearing, a household name in the localization industry. Today, I have the honor and a distinct pleasure to have with me Yasmine Gardner. And Yasmine is the CEO of Data Scrubber. And we're going to find out a little bit more about this one, datascrubber.ai. And Yasmine joined us from Florida, I believe. Yasmine, correct?
Yes, I'm in Tampa, Florida.
Tampa, Florida. So Yasmine, welcome to the channel. Good to see you. Good to have you back on the conversation. And like everybody else been on this channel, today we're recording episode 101. I can't believe I'm saying that. Everybody comes to this channel, they bring us their story as a person. You know, where are you from? How, if you don't mind introducing yourself, where are you from? How did you come about? How does this business idea came about? And where are you now? So just from a business perspective. Let's get started.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you, Robin, for having me. Hello, everyone. I'm Yasmine Gardner, again, the founder and CEO of the Datascrubber.ai. I am from Tampa, Florida, but my family, we're from the beautiful, beautiful Caribbean islands of the Bahamas and Turks and Caicos. So I always go back home just to get a quick pina colada. But um, I've
Well, there's a
been
lot of Canadians who want to go with you now at this time of year. So
Um, I've been in the data science AI space for 6 years now. I worked in large corporations, startups, and then eventually the DoD and various federal contracts. So the data scrubber idea really came from experience. I had to miss a family trip just to hit a timeline. And, I just said to myself, like, this needs to be a solution. I've been in leadership roles within the tech industry and I've worked on teams, and our time could be very utilized somewhere else and be more efficient. So I'm excited to showcase more and talk more about the data scrubber and, give you all a great demo of it as well, too.
absolutely. And for the audience who are just from a concept perspective, you know, where and when would somebody use Data Scrubber? Like, what business solution problem does Data Scrubbers beside the speed and agility of how we collect data? I'm assuming, what business problem does it solve? Let's start with that.
Yes, so it solves the data cleaning and data scrubbing aspect. So what that means is in certain spreadsheets like Excel's or Google Sheets, you're going to have duplicate rows, missing values, validate your email address, if you're going to send out marketing campaigns, and all that takes time to go through your spreadsheet line by line, row by row, column by column to ensure you're having accurate data. You
There you go.
need accurate data, especially in spreadsheets, to build visualizations, AI models, and make those decision making. But here's the thing though, it takes technical teams 80% of our time to remove those errors, which only gives us a short amount of time to build what you hire us for. And so with this technology, it allows you to remove those errors within seconds. So a task that can take, days or even a week will take you seconds. And honestly, with our technology, we are reinventing the traditional way of data quality methods.
One of the things that comes to mind, we in the localization business, we as an industry, we're a bit leery to the fact that when we hear the word automation, people immediately think, how accurate is it? Is it usable accuracy, or is it close to accurate? What's your level of confidence when it comes to accuracy?
Oh, my accuracy is definitely over 97%. I'm very big on data governance, data validation, accuracy, and I say that because it's important. And as data is growing every single day at every single second, the current way of how we control and clean our data is not only expensive, but it's also just very time consuming. A project can be just minimum $30,000, $50,000, and most of that price is due to removing those errors to ensure you have validated data.
That's right. We were having a conversation like a couple of weeks ago. Last week. Lost for time here, and we were talking to an institution, a national institution here in Canada, and they were talking about like, and the question was, are you ready to deploy the new technology? Are you ready to
Mhm.
deploy like AI? Are you ready to deploy and take advantage of all the benefits that it offers, right?
Mhm.
And the question and the answer was no, we're not. And
Mhm.
it's one of those industries where it's a bit complicated, and it all revolves the problem all revolves around, is your data ready? And the
Mhm.
answer always is the data. My data is not ready. It's not structured for what
Yes.
the new technology is going to allow me to do, or how do I make my data? And that's the another question that everybody's asking: how do I make my data in a way that it's available now, or it is structured in a certain way that the new technology can take advantage of?
Correct.
Is this where
Yeah.
you come in and help, I'm assuming?
Yes, this is where we do. We step in, we help you with that problem. But also the big thing is that we also implement data governance. So as we're building our technology, and what data governance is basically tracking the life cycle of your data to ensure accountability. So if someone is inputting data in your spreadsheet, we want to ensure that wherever they're placing that spreadsheet, whether it's in a CRM like Salesforce, what time, where they're pulling that data from, who they're sending it to. All of this tracks the life cycle. So that way, if there's any errors going on in your model building, you can go back and see, okay, where to start, what happened, and start making those corrections from there on. So we not only are ensuring you're going to have validated data within seconds, but we're also going to store and correct your governance data to protect those safeguards, to safeguard your digital assets.
And I love the idea that you mentioned, if you have it run into an issue, you can go back and immediately figure out where the problem has happened in your data structure, in your data in general. Um,
Yes.
Back in the days, 30, 40 years ago, and I'm dating myself really bad. I used to be a DBA, and you're looking for data errors, like looking for a needle in a haystack.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming now we have a better tools for that.
We do, and with the increase of AI makes it much more easier to reinvent those traditional methods, and that's how I see us, just really being that one centralized location where
Yeah.
you can have validated data and governance, and while
Yep.
also saving costs as well too. So I'm very excited about what we had to offer, and I know that our target market and anyone that uses spreadsheets or just even photos and videos and want to get that metadata. And what metadata is like data behind the data. So for example, if you take a picture at a park, the metadata would say the location, the time, possibly the weather might have been. So all that information needs to be stored accurately, regardless if it's just a spreadsheet, photos or videos. And that's what we have to offer.
Absolutely. And for the audience, this is a unique conversation we're having today with Yasmin, because I can't wait. I mean, I know you're itching. You want to showcase the product. I can tell you want to share the screen and show us the product. I'm equally excited. And this is a unique episode where we're recording an actual product being demonstrated on the screen with the CEO of the company and the brain behind the invention of this particular product. So I'm really appreciative of you coming with us on this conversation, Yasmin. I hope the audience as excited at this stage of our conversation as I am. So without any further ado, I'm going to ask you if you don't mind sharing your screen and walk us through what the features and functionalities of datascrubber.ai is.
Yes, absolutely. I'm super excited. So let me do this. Let me share my screen here.
And while Yasmin is sharing her screen and getting ready for our conversation on the actual demo here, I want to mention that the conversation around data and AI and how this relates together, it's a very active conversation that's taking place right now in a variety of industries, in a variety of scenarios. And in any time we think about taking advantage of AI, taking advantage of the new technology benefits and etc., we need to make sure that the data is there, the data is curated accurately, as the old saying goes, garbage in, garbage out. If
Yes.
you are going to put unstructured data and some data that is not filtered or not accurate, guess what? Don't waste your time on building a new technology, because you're going to get the bad output out of that. So um, I see your screen is
Um,
online. I can see it from my side, Yasmin. The floor is yours.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Robin, for this opportunity. And honestly, to be historical on your podcast as the first to demo live. So I just hope I continue the momentum for you all. So this is our data quality scoring system, which not only cleans your data, but also gives you feedback. And then I will talk a little bit more about our toppers features as the demo goes on. So here we have some sample spreadsheets. I'm going to download this bronze one. Okay, so I'm going to open this for you all. Just one second. Now, as you can see in this bronze spreadsheet, now there's a missing value here. There's a missing value here. And you see there's just missing values. It could be better removed. It just could be a better data set. This right here will just really throw off the model that you're building. And so what we're going to do is take that spreadsheets and we are going to upload it here. And as you can see, in less than a second, not only did you get the feedback of what needs to be, what issues are there, but you also get accuracies on consistency, duplicates, suggestions as well too. And so we're going to go down here, remove any rows, duplicate rows. We're going to add a null value of 100%. And what null values are is just basically filling in those missing spaces. Clean the data, and look at that. It successfully cleaned it. So now we get to download that clean data. And then I'll pull a side by side of it. And excuse me, if I'm moving too fast, please let me know. I get
No,
super.
no, I want you to continue at your leisure here because I've got a couple of questions for you, but I'm just going to let you finish this function.
Absolutely. And so let's put this side by side here. So as you can see that row 4, it filled that with unknown. Oh, sorry about that. It filled the row with unknown. It also filled in this row here as well too, with unknown as well. And so right now, to be transparent, our technology, we're still working on the numbers aspect as far as like just plain numbers for the financial sector. But if you have an email address that has some numbers that need to be validated or corrected, our technology can handle that. But this is what it can do. And there's another demo spreadsheet that I want to show you all that has many duplicates and how it handles that. But I would love to hear your question, Robin.
So yeah, one question comes to mind. This demo, and thanks for sharing this. I really appreciate it. It deals with like few lines in a spreadsheet. How does it handle, I don't know, 10,000 lines, 20,000 lines, or 30,000 lines in this case? Does it
Yes.
matter for the technology?
No, it can handle that right now. To be honest, so our technology can handle up to 200K rows and 70 columns. And that's just where we have programmed it today. Now, the more data that we get and working with some companies on some partnerships, the more it'll be easier for us to expand that even more columns and rows as well too. So as a beginner, we can handle up to 200K, but we want to expand it more.
And also like when you use the word unknown to fill the blank cells, I'm assuming that word unknown could be replaced with anything else. I'm assuming.
It can be replaced with anything else. And the thing is, we add unknown because if you are looking at like a visualization chart, if that data wasn't filled, it would just be blank. It'll be empty. And then that leaves you a question mark of what is this? So at least with the unknown can give you some kind of insight of where you need to go back to the life cycle of the data, where the error would happen, or just being able to make some additional insights and estimations as well until you go back and fill in those with your data, with
Yeah,
your
for our
information.
audience, for instance, unknown could be replaced with verify later or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to dig deeper into a value that is not filled in your spreadsheet. Now, one question you mentioned on email, which is very interesting.
Yes.
Sales and marketing here, and I'm assuming there's a lot of sales and marketing people are listening in on the conversation today.
Yes.
What kind of verification does it do? Is it like the format of you're gonna have to have the at sign, you gotta get the .com at the end, or does it actually do a validation on the domain names, like the DNS of the website, for instance, and it says, yeah, this email address is valid, or how do you validate it?
Yes. So we look for the @, those different formats, the .com, .co. We look for the full email address. And the thing is with us, we want to make it also personalized for you. So when you log into your account with us, you're able to, of course, clean a spreadsheet, but just know it's deleting any kind of information on that back end. So that way it's still, you're just able to have that clean information, but you're also able to upload more data. So that way your profile can read, oh, this kind of email address is not common to what's normally, that they come across. So we will fix that as well too. So we're creating silos not only by industry, but by personnel who use our technology.
And we looked at CSV, but I'm assuming you do like all kinds of other formats. I'm assuming, or just CSV files.
So all kinds of formats. And right now, transparency, our technology can handle just spreadsheets. So Excel, Google Sheets, any kind of spreadsheets. And now we're building on adding videos and photos to it and documents like PDFs.
Wow. Yeah, great. All right. Sorry to interrupt with my many questions.
No, you're perfectly fine. That worked out great. So let me go back here. So our Ask Tapas features is a very unique feature. And what this is after you clean your data, you're able to ask questions about that data. And so let's see, how many rows were in the spreadsheet? Let's see. I know it can be transparent. It's a little bit wonky right now. It's just trying to work it out. But this feature right here allows you to ask many questions on your data set. So if you want to know, for example, something like that, for something like the example that we have here, how many comedians are males or females? That will answer it for you. And then also any additional insights that you may have. So instead of just second guessing of insights that you might, want to make a business decision, you can honestly just use our Tapas features. Oh, here we go. How many rows are in the spreadsheet? And the answer is female, male, and it'll just write down different feedback for you all to give you the answer. But to give you an idea of what we're building, that is that also main component as well too. Let me know if you have any questions before I move on.
Okay, so the question is, how do you deploy that? Is it cloud-based or is it behind the server?
So it's behind the server. We built our own in-house servers. Mm-hmm.
So if a customer wants to, interested and want to talk to you about this one, about this solution, how do they deploy it on their side?
Yes. So you will just talk to us, and then we'll help you create an account because we haven't fully launched it just yet. And right now we're just in that process of continuing a successful product market fit, but they're able to deploy it on our servers. And then we're able to at least give them back the clean data until we're fully launched to the market where they can use it themselves.
Okay. So, sorry to interrupt again. I feel like I have the front row seat in this demo, so I'm asking as many questions as I feel like I want to. And, this is one of the things about this podcast is we keep the conversation natural. So, like two people talking over coffee. And I'm sorry about that if this is not the right format, but it is what it is with me. I love talking to people, and I take any opportunity to see new technology. I like this one.
Nice. Oh, that's awesome. Awesome. Now, I appreciate it. I love the questions, the curiosity. And again, I'm very transparent, so I'm open to be honest with you.
Great. Okay, let's go on with the demo.
Yes. So we're going to look at the silver one. And so this silver highlights more of duplicates. Sorry, my laptop's moving a little slow here. I think it needs some coffee too.
I think laptops know that you have a demo. They all behave the same thing.
So as you can see just here, this bottom from line 11 through 15 are the same rows. So basically 12 through 15 are duplicates. And so let's run that through our technology. So I'm going to choose a file. We're going to go with silver. So now, it says our feedback data says in good shape, but there's some minor improvements needed. Okay, what do we need to improve? Integrity is not the best. Duplicates, consider moving duplicate rows. So again, we check the null values, remove those duplicate rows. And so let's clean that data. And as you can see, it says it right here, rows removed 4. Okay, so let's check that out there. Let's go here, and then I'll do another side by side. Awesome. All right. And so as you can see, it removed rows 12 through 15 because those were duplicates. So that way you don't have to deal with that kind of errors or discrepancies, or even when it comes to marketing, if you are sending mailers to people, and you don't want to spend additional 10 cents or additional however much it costs to mail to the same person because your data did not catch those duplicates. And so that's what I love about this feature, especially for marketing professionals, is that mailing is expensive, and even CRM. So you want to ensure that all your marketing campaigns are going to the person and not them many times because the data was inaccurate. So this is another feature that I wanted to highlight, or at least a demo of how we just are able to remove those duplicate rows in within milliseconds, I should say. And I loved it very much. Are there any questions?
Great. And I'm sure, a lot of the companies that they're listening right now, some of them are very sophisticated, and they probably think about this and they think, you know what, we may have another solution for this kind of problem. But I'm 100% certain there are some people out there, there are some agencies, government agencies, or whoever they are, or even companies that are a bit more legacy, I would say, without using the word legacy in a negative way. No, people have their processes and that works for them, and which is fine. What I meant to say by that is they're not as technologically advanced as others. And I think this is a great solution for those companies who has, pretty much not much going on in terms of technology. They still have data to manage. Yes. And this data is still sitting in spreadsheets, Excel. It's not in an active databases where they can query or they can do other things with it. And this is to the rescue, I'm assuming, in this case. If you go to a bank where you got like DBAs, you've got sophisticated databases running the financial institutions. I don't know, where does this play in that, what kind of market segment does it play in, I guess?
Yes, great question. So this can really play in the government, marketing, insurance, technology, SaaS companies, and even as financial as well too. And I say that because there's so much data that they have to operate on a day-to-day basis, and that includes numbers as well too. But it's also the additional stuff that they do with the data, like, for example, in the financial aspect, risk management models. Is this a good client that we should give money to for them to build their business and whatnot? So this can really fit in those different industries because just the amount of data that's consuming them per day, per hour, per minute. And that's where this technology steps in. And I honestly had a conversation with a good buddy of mine who has his own CRM. And just like how you said in the beginning, garbage in, garbage out. And I told him, I said, well, what if your CRM had this solution, right? So that way, anybody who is using it, it's kind of like accuracy in, accuracy out. You don't have to worry about that at all. And so that's why I want people to start thinking more of data quality reassurance when it comes to us, because that is such a hot topic, and data governance is such a hot topic that I don't think people realize it until the time comes. And that's why I want to be at the forefront of that and really market data quality methods that are traditional but needs to be reinvented, and that's where we step in.
So I know you talked a lot last time we spoke. You mentioned data governance, and you earlier mentioned data governance. How does this play in what we're looking at right now?
Yes. So with data governance, so for example, you will upload your clean spreadsheet, and what it does is it would take that information of the different columns here, it tracks all of this, and it creates like your own catalog, your own data catalog. So that way you can filter in that catalog, okay, Yasmine and Robin, they downloaded this clean spreadsheet at 10:21 a.m. on March 5th. during a podcast, and it has this kind of data format to spreadsheet, and it's in the spreadsheet was this kind of data, this kind of row. So that way, anytime we want to go back to this podcast special, we can go into our data catalog and say, oh, that's right, it was this spreadsheet that we used for the demo purposes on that day, on that time. And now I'm going to update that data catalog, and by saying I took this spreadsheet and implement it in my CRM somewhere else. And now I have to, put that date and time as well too. But it really is tracking every single thing when it comes to your data to ensure that you have a positive life cycle of your data.
Yeah, one of the I'm just thinking about an application for this, which is really interesting. One of the things is that when we talk about data governance, for instance, personal information, and personal information, a lot of times in a lot of institutions, a lot of companies are not allowed to be transacted, are not allowed to be, leaving one's network to outside of network. And there's a lot of legalities around that in the US, in Canada, everybody's the same, in Europe especially. So I was wondering if, a tool like this or software like this can help in scrubbing that out. So I have let's say a 20,000 rows in an Excel sheet.
Okay.
And I'm going to have to send them to, in my case, to a translation company to translate some, strings inside of that spreadsheet. And I want to identify, let's say, personal information, and I want to remove those personal information. That would be like, I don't know, if there's any identifiable information in there, like social insurance numbers, or I'm just giving that as an example, but I don't know what would be in there. Is that something that can be modified for this particular purpose, or not yet there?
So we're not there yet, but that is definitely on our pipeline for production. Because when we are working with data governance, we want to ensure that every time that you use our software, that you're hitting those regulations and guidelines. So, for example, healthcare with HIPAA, that's very, very important, and you want to ensure you're protecting the privacy of the healthcare the patients. And so being able to remove that kind of sensitive information is also going to be a fantastic feature on our software. The more as we continue to grow, get the word out, continue our resources, we're able to add those many features. But of course, being able to hit those governance standards that really makes it efficient to remove those personal information.
Excellent. So, sorry, I keep interrupting you. What's next?
Go ahead.
So what's next on your side? Let's see.
That is pretty much it of our demo. It's just really, really straightforward, very simple. I'm a very simplistic kind of person. And I feel as though in technology, it should be the same thing, because I want not only the technical people to understand, but also non-technical people. How do you get non-technical people excited about AI when they think it's, intimidating or it's hard? And I don't want them to think that way. We practice ethical AI over here. And so I want to know that I'm here to educate you all of the exciting ways how AI can really benefit your life and really help it in many ways. And this is how I see it. Not really much taking your job, but just making you more efficient while reducing costs for you. I'm very big on companies not having layovers, layoffs. So I'm really hoping that solutions like this can really help them be more efficient, make more revenue, and really help their staff and ensure employee happiness.
I mean, simplicity is a key here, right? So, and I can see where you've done that. I'm sure there are a lot more going on behind the scene, that people don't need to look at. Like, nobody needs to see the code, but at the same time, simplicity means that you took a lot of effort in putting the program together to come up with a simple way of addressing this particular function or this particular software in general. And I'm a big proponent or big advocate of the KISS principle. Keep it simple, stupid. Why complicate it if you don't need to or you don't have to?
Good one.
Yeah, so I'm really impressed with how simple the function is, the software is. Now, tell us a little bit about where are you now in your business. Now that we've seen the demo, we know what the software can do. Where are you in your business right now? Do you have customers? What markets are you trying to address? Do you have a sales force helping you promote this particular software or not?
Yes. So we are just rapidly growing. So we have closed a pre-valuation of 16 million. We have a successful case study here in Tampa, Florida, with an IT company who works with government contracts. We have two successful B2B feedbacks. We also have 50 beta testers signed up. And this is just 1 month after announcing. So we closed February very, very well.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Right now, we're in the talks with partnerships to really continue to build this out. We're also currently fundraising as well, too, and that's been very successful. It's really going in a really great way. I wanted to ensure product market fit before spending more time and resources. And it's been successful. It's working out. So now I know, okay, we can continue to keep going on this, but at least I know I will have potential paid customers, but due to our traction.
And so, is your funding, coming from customers, or is it public, private sector? How are you funding your development?
So we're funding it through investors. But we're also open to partnerships that where we don't really have to go that wild or take a bigger chunk from them.
Yep.
But we're open. I like working with good people and ensuring that my team are good and we have what we need. But we're open to those investments. And thanks to our good friend Sam Pepin,
Yeah.
he's the one that's really been spearheading a lot
A
of
Montreal guy.
Yes, man. He's been teaching me French. I'm trying to learn so I can come up there and blend in.
Well, I don't know. During those tariff discussions now between the U.S. and Canada, we probably all I just heard that you guys declared English is the official language of United States. I don't have an issue with that. I mean, we have our official languages here, but I was just wondering, would everybody now in Canada, in the U.S., would want to learn French for some reason in Canada? I'm just kidding. Maybe not.
Maybe, we have some people are ready to learn new things. So you never know. We might just take a field trip to come visit you.
Field trip. I like that. That's great. Excellent. And also, I want to message here to our entrepreneurs that I've interviewed on this channel, and I've interviewed many of them. And I love new ideas. I love somebody who's just starting something as an entrepreneur. I love to talk to you, and people who have these courageous thoughts in their head to say, listen, I'm going to break the mold. I don't want to be, I don't want to be doing the same thing day in, day out. I'm just going to go out and chart my own world, my own territory in this life. My admiration, my hats off to you, and to all the entrepreneurs that they've been on this channel and they talk to me about their solution to the world out there. One thing is I'm noticing here based on what you demoed for us, Yasmine, today, is that simplicity in the way we come up with an idea, the way we put the solution together. It doesn't need to be that complicated. I'm noticing that the ideas from the entrepreneurial perspective, the simple ideas, they can also be a reason to develop businesses and generate income and generate revenue. It doesn't need a lot of bells and whistles.
No, you're absolutely right on that. It doesn't. It just needs to be, does it work? Can it do what it needs to do in an efficient amount of time? We don't need all that extra stuff. It just needs to be simple and straightforward. And honestly, if you look at statistics or even history, simple products, simple ways, simple solutions have always been the best method.
That's right.
So I just try to keep that same momentum there.
Absolutely. And did I hear somewhere through the bio that you sent me that you're still pursuing or I'm not sure if you've finished a master's degree in data science?
Yes, so I am currently enrolled at the Syracuse University in New York, and I am on an academic scholarship that's covering 20% of my tuition. So I'm very, very happy to be a part of that program. I will be graduating end of this year. But yeah, this is just continue my education. I feel like it's very, very important.
Like, I mean, how do you balance being a CEO of an entrepreneurial company and being a student? Like, how do you do that?
It's really the excitement. I'm learning from professionals, my professor, so that way I can be a better technology person in my own tech company. So I'm learning. And that's the thing. I've
Yep.
always been big on education. My grandmother, not only was she a pastor, but she was a teacher. And growing up, as soon as we were able to talk and walk, she put us in school. So I'm like 3 years old reading. But between her and my dad, my family, they're very big on education. And so they're like, keep going, get your education. It's important. And that's just where I'm at today.
Well, great. I mean, that's a lesson to all of us out there. We can walk and chew gum at the same time, as they say. Sorry, it's Wednesday here, and I middle of the week, and I feel like want to laugh a little bit. So there you go. I'm grabbing the opportunity of smiling. There's nothing wrong with smiling. We don't
No,
smile enough.
no, we don't. I like to tell people, hey, we need to giggle more.
That's right. Absolutely. So as we proceed with our conversation here, as we come, we still have about 5 minutes in our dialogue. Anything else that my audience has yet to learn about Datascrubber.ai that they need to know that they have not yet captured through the conversation?
That's, to be honest, very much it. We're very simple. We're straightforward. We know what we're wanting to do. We know the mission that we're solving, the problem that we're also solving as well too. So what you saw is what you get. We're very transparent. You see in the data cleaning feature, the topless features. The only thing you didn't see is the governance feature, and that's a back end thing. But hopefully we'll come back on this podcast and show that feature. Wink, wink. Other than that, that's really it about us. And if you have any more information or interested, just please reach out to myself. I'm happy to talk with you. And that's really it. To be honest, very simple.
You know what? I mean, this is nothing wrong with that. A simple product for a big problem.
Mm-hmm.
To solve a big problem, and I can imagine in my mind a data center, a billing center, or any one of those centers where you have to capture information, catalog information.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the days, I used to run the IT department for a billing center for one of Canada's largest couriers. Yes. And I remember we have 300-400 employees in one room, and all they do is they take documents, they capture the documents, the information from the document, they put it on in a file on a large mainframe, and lots of error in those files because when you're typing fast, sometimes you capture the wrong information. Yes. So I'm assuming that is from that particular function, if it's still around somewhere, your solution would help, because then we can validate. We can say, the tracking number is supposed to be 20 digit. How did you come up with 5-digit tracking number? This is where you come in and say, no, hang on a second. This particular field's supposed to have, let's say, characteristics ABC, and you missed one or two of them. I'm assuming you can fix that.
Yes. And it's so funny. I was talking to this one guy, just showing the demo and whatnot, and he immediately had an emotional reaction because he's like, listen, back in the 90s, I was making six figures. Now, even though I was born in the 90s, I at least was aware of six figures in the 90s is a lot of money. Yep. Now, he said he had quit his six-figure job because his job was just to clean data nonstop, and it just drove him crazy. And he's like, if I had this technology back then, it would have been a different career path, but I at least would have had my job. And and that's something where I'm like, well, that's where we're here for, to reduce those kind of ways of people wanting to leave their jobs or anything because of data cleaning. But like I said, this is from experience. Being from the Caribbean islands of Turks and Caicos, we had a family trip and I had to cancel that because I had to focus on cleaning data to hit a deadline. And I'm like, I can't be the only one going through this. And I know I'm not, because I'm part of technical teams, but there's got to be more stories like this where people are frustrated because line by line, row by row is a lot, especially if you're dealing with spreadsheets or data that has so many, raw data in it.
Absolutely. And you know what? I really enjoyed this conversation today. I really like the simplicity of the product and the problem that it solves. And I can't be the only one who really thinks that this is valuable to many. And I hope this particular conversation that we've had today help you
Yes.
find whatever you're looking for, a new contact, new customers, new dialogues or conversation that can generate positive outcome for you through this dialogue, through this podcast. And I hope you keep us in mind. I hope you come back when you're all rich and millionaire from this particular. Don't forget the little ones. Come back, and I'd love to talk to you more. I really enjoyed the conversation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Robert. I enjoyed the conversation, the atmosphere as well too, and I never forget where I came from. So the moment that happens, I'm going to call you. Hey, Robin, ready for part two?
You're welcome back anytime. They say, "Mi casa es su casa." There you
Oh,
go. I mean, our podcast is for people like you, and I enjoy doing these kind of conversations. I take pride of what I do, and I do it not because of anything. I don't generate money out of this. There is nobody funding me. I do it on my own personal time, and all I ask in return from my audience and from my guests is to like and share and comment on the outcome, on what we publish. And just so you know, and for the audience to know, there'll be a full video posted on YouTube of this conversation, obviously edited.
mhm.
And also there'll be like about 9 short videos or 10 short videos generated out of this conversation. We'll post them as well. And there'll be a blog post published summarizing the conversation. And it'll also be published on all the audio podcasting. And I think we're on 20 channels out there. I don't know how many of them. We're published on Spotify, Apple, Boomplay, etc. So for the audience, pick and choose which channel you want to listen to. Keep us in mind, like, share, and comment. I really appreciate that. I don't ask you anything in return. It's not going to cost you money. All you have to do is just like it. Thank you so much. And for you, Yasmine, thanks for being part of this conversation. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Robin, for having me. Thank you all for listening in and watching the demo. I really appreciate this opportunity. And I look forward to hearing from you all and, seeing the podcast as well, too, and continue to be a fan.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you at the next episode, 102. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.